pretty hooked on true crime lately, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like there's just this constant stream of stuff, podcasts, documentaries, you name it.
It does.
And sometimes you wonder, is there anything really new out there, even if you think you've heard it all?
That's a great question. And often, yeah, the answer is yes. There are some really compelling stories, often from places you wouldn't expect.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
Okay.
We're doing a deep dive into a film called Mr. and Mrs. Stodola. It's a true crime story from the Czech Republic.
Right.
But it takes this really different angle, very psychological. We want to unpack how it brings this, chilling, real story to the screen.
Focusing on the director's choices and what the story implies.
Exactly. And for this, we're drawing on a really insightful review by Mary Munoz for Moviescramble. She gets into the directing and the deeper meaning of it all.
Sounds good. She really nailed down the important stuff in that review.
Okay, so let's get into it. Peter Hátle's film, Mr. and Mrs. Stodola, he co-wrote it with Thomas Ruby. It tells the true story, the horrific story of this killer couple. Tiny Czech village.
Right.
And between 2001 and 2002, they robbed and murdered 8 retirees.
8. That number alone just stops you.
It really does. Sets a tone immediately.
And what's striking, as Munoz points out, is how the film just throws you right in. No messing around.
Yeah. How so?
Well, like, within the first 30 minutes, you see a robbery go bad, arson, them lying to the police, threatening an old woman.
Wow.
Even digging a grave. It doesn't try to hide who these people are. No glamour, no slow reveal.
That's pretty bold, straight into the darkness.
Exactly.
So many true crime things focus on the how and what, but this sounds like it goes straight for the why. Or maybe just the who.
Yeah, it's refreshing, isn't it? Especially for people who follow true crime.
Yeah.
It forces you to think differently because Hátle is all about their psychology.
Yep.
And it leaves you, the viewer, with these uncomfortable questions. No easy answers provided. You kind of have to sit with it.
And that psychological focus, it must create a specific kind of tension.
Oh, absolutely. The film is brilliant at that.
Yeah.
Even when you know what's likely going to happen.
You still feel it.
Yeah. Anytime Jaroslav, they call him mostly, or Dana gets near an older person, you just tense up. Instantly worried.
It's that constant dread.
Exactly. A low hum of anxiety.
I read about one shot in particular, that point of view shot. Dana in the lake.
Oh, yeah. That one's powerful.
The review described her as scouring the sunbathers for her next victim, like a shark. What does that tell us?
It's so unsettling because it, pulls you into her perspective. You see the world through her predatory eyes for a moment. It's a real glimpse into her mindset.
That's chilling.
And speaking to choices, it's interesting how much of the actual violence happens off-screen or just in flashbacks.
Right. Why do that, do you think?
Well, it lets the film focus more on the why. The power dynamics between them, their twisted motivations. Less about just showing the gore.
It's often more disturbing when you don't see it, isn't it? Your mind fills in the gaps.
It really can be. But then when the film does show the consequences...
It hits hard.
Oh, yeah. Truly shocking. Munoz mentions that scene, the woman in the bloody bathtub, another frozen in fright.
Horrific.
And the review suggests maybe this choice, keeping violence off screen mostly, maybe it mirrors how the couple themselves couldn't face what they did.
So we don't get to fully face it either. That's clever. It links the style to their psychology.
Exactly. It's all very integrated. Which brings us to the characters themselves. We have to talk about the actors. Jan Hajek is Jaroslav, and Lucy Zakova is Dana.
Incredible performances, the review said.
Absolutely central. Their dynamic is the film, really.
Tell me about Dana's portrayal. Sounds complex.
She's captivating, funny, alluring, but always with this smirk, this mocking edge.
Magnetic but dangerous.
Utterly beguiling, yeah. But laced with something, sinister. There's even this small detail. She finds her wedding dress itchy.
Huh. A hint.
Yeah, like this restlessness, this rejection of anything pure or conventional.
And Jaroslav, Jorda, he sounds complicated too.
Very. He seems totally smitten with Dana, desperate. But he swings between, pleading with her and then committing these awful acts.
So, is he a victim of her manipulation, or...
That's the conflict, isn't it? The review calls him a useful idiot sometimes, just trying to keep her interested. But he's the one doing most of the actual violence. It leaves you really questioning his role.
So, if he's doing the killing, but seems under her control, what does that say about the power?
Well, the film, and Munoz picks up on this, seems to put the blame squarely on her.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a flick of her head and a wry smile, and Jarda's off to do Dana's bidding. It paints a really clear picture of who's pulling the strings.
That control, does the visual style reflect that too?
Right. Oh, definitely. The framing is used incredibly effectively. Like that scene where they choose their first victims. The old couple is shown small, huddled, shocked. Then Dana steps into the frame, the shadow appears first, and she just fills the space with this rictus grin.
Wow. Instantly shows the power imbalance.
Before a word is spoken. And then there's that amazing contrast later.
Which one?
2 shots, same door frame. First, you see Jaroslav. He's sitting there in his underwear, head in his hands, smoking. Looks like he just can't cope.
Okay.
Then the reverse shot, same door frame, but it's Dana. And she's bubbly, smiling, looking for food.
The contrast is that stark.
It's jarring. And it makes you think about that question the reviewer raises. Is this how we're meant to see them? Or is this how they see themselves or each other?
Right. Perception versus reality, or maybe just their reality.
Exactly. It messes with your perception.
And the colors. The review mentioned a specific palette.
Yeah, really interesting choices. The village buildings where things start, they're kind of washed out yellows, grays.
Yeah.
Kind of. Interiors have lots of browns and reds. But then their new apartment. Blues, greens, beiges, a total shift.
And the lighting.
Often this sickly yellow indoors. Cast these weird shadows. It all adds to this, like, diseased feeling. Almost like the colors track their descent.
That makes sense.
And what's really smart, I think, is the overall look, the costumes, the decor. It gives the film this timeless quality.
Meaning.
It doesn't feel locked into just 2001, 2002. It implies that this kind of threat, people like Dana and Jaroslav, they're always potentially out there.
That's unsettling. It lifts it beyond just this one case.
For sure. For people like us who see a lot of true crime, it makes it feel more universal, more about human nature itself, how evil can just hide in plain sight. Anytime.
So, wrapping up our deep dive here, Mr. and Mrs. Stodola sounds like it's much more than just recounting events.
Definitely. Tightly paced, fantastic acting, but it really digs deep into the psychology the power plays within this couple.
Goes beyond the usual true crime formula.
Yeah, Munoz calls it gorgeously shot and fascinating in its conclusion. A must-watch, she says. It's about the horrific acts, sure, but more about the twisted relationship that enabled them.
Okay, so here's something to leave you thinking about as you reflect on this. How do stories like this one, stories that focus less on just the shocking violence and more on the really complex psychology of the people involved, the power dynamics, how does that change how we think about evil, about human relationships?
That's a heavy question.
It is, and it's one that definitely sticks with you after exploring a film like this, something to chew on.